Nothing's original anymore. I mean, if you think about it, what? Finding Nemo is just a fishier version of the Odyssey. Lion King is just an animaler version of Hamlet. And Troy is just a sexier version of the Iliad. You know, there's just no more originality anymore. But is that lack of originality a good thing? We're gonna be snobs today. Come join me. It starts with a book written by Christopher Booker called The 7 Basic Plots Why We Tell Stories. It's a very fitting title because it does just that, one of the rare instances where you can judge a book by its cover, where it breaks down the fact that each and every story, either written or otherwise, falls down under one of 7 storylines, ideas, topics, right? But do not worry. I know 7 is right along the line of like, do I care enough to hang out for 7 topics? Trust me, it's worth it, because after we learn the 7, I'm going to turn them into 4 super quick and easy things to remember that might even help you remember the other 7 that you didn't even want to remember to begin with, because it's going to be that interesting. Okay? Now let's do this thing. Buddy system, grab your hands. Let's go. Come on. Number 1. Overwhelming the monster. The hero sets out to defeat a great evil or monstrous antagonist that threatens them or their world. Basically, everything is Beowulf. And if you're not familiar with Beowulf, then everything is Jaws, and what the hell are you doing? Watch Beowulf. I already said Jaws, but Alien, Matrix, if you saw Edge of Tomorrow, I enjoyed it. A lot of other people I know did not. The key takeaways are that number 1 just means that it's a group of people against one evil, not necessarily a monster, but those are like the easier examples. And number 2 is to fucking watch Beowulf, dude. Number 2, rags to riches. A humble protagonist achieves greatness or wealth after enduring trials and learning important lessons. So basically everything is Cinderella. Rocky's Cinderella. What? Rocky was Cinderella. The Pursuit of Happiness was Cinderella. The Great Gatsby was Cinderella. Cinderella was Cinderella. If you started with nothing, you persevered or whatever, and then no longer had nothing, and usually that something was money, then that fits into number 2. Number 3. The Quest. A hero, or a group, sets out on a journey to obtain a vital object or goal, facing obstacles and temptations along the way. Now, I just said journey, vital object, and temptations. If you didn't immediately think of Lord of the Rings, then what are you even doing? First Beowulf, and now this. Get it together! Everything is Lord of the Rings. Finding Nemo, you got fish instead of hobbits. You got a sun instead of a ring. I wouldn't take that trade, that's just me. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Moana, Mad Max Fury Road, all Lord of the Rings, just with varying degrees of cartoons and violence. Number 4. Voyage and Return. The protagonist travels to a strange world, faces challenges, and returns home transformed. Basically, everything is the Odyssey. I don't blame you too much for not being as familiar with the Odyssey. I avoided reading it as much as possible in school. You do what you gotta do. New movie, though, blowing up. I heard that a lot of people are pre-ordering it, even though it's not going to be out for another year, so it might be worth brisking up on. Brisking? Is that the word I'm looking for? Whatever. But for Voyage and Return, everything is the Odyssey. Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, the Blue People Avatar, all are just people trying to get home after some sort of war or like major event. Okay, we made it 4 topics in. You're doing great over that halfway mark, but you deserve a little break, a little reset of the noggin, and with that comes the following little presentation. You're welcome. Okay, moving on. Number 5 is comedy. Comedy doesn't always just mean ha 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 ha, right? It's also about confusion and conflict, often involving mistaken identities, love mix-ups, or social entanglements that resolves into harmony and happiness. Basically, everything's Midsummer's Last Dream, Midsummer's Night Dream. That one, the one with the donkey. And I would know because in middle school, I was part of the band that while people were performing Midsummer's Night's Dream for parents, and by in the band, I meant I was in charge of the small bells, chimes, to imitate the whenever the fairy used magic, I'd go and then laughter or clapping or whatever suited. So yeah, I'm pretty cool. 10 Things I Hate About You, Mrs. Doubtfire, Crazy Rich Asians. All fun stories with a wrench thrown in to offset from your traditional love story. Only 2 left, you're doing so good. I guess more so Finding Love. Number 6 is Tragedy. A hero with a fatal flaw, or who makes a grave mistake, spirals into ruin, often bringing others down as well. Everything is Macbeth. Macbeth's another one that holds a special place in my heart. You know, in school when you learn it, I don't know for you guys, but my English teacher gave us parts, assigned us roles, and then we had to learn our parts and present them in class in like rotations until we finished the play. And it took 2 months. And you can bet your ass I was Lady Macbeth, dude. God. And I was terrified the whole time. There's a reason why I'm talking to a camera and not to a crowd of people. Come, ye spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here. Imagine saying unsex me in front of every cute girl in your class. Not mortifying at all. We made it, baby. Number 7, Rebirth. A protagonist undergoes a transformation or redemption, often after a metaphorical or literal death. For the record, I don't approve of this, but pretty much everything is a Christmas Carol. Beauty and the Beast, The Whale, hell, even Iron Man is a story of some stingy dude who gets reborn and learns the error of his ways. They just substitute the ghost of Scrooge's partner with getting your heart blown up, and then the other spirits replaced with Black Sabbath, and they just called it a day. So by Christopher Booker's logic, everything is Jaws, Beowulf, Cinderella, Midsummer's Night Dream, Lord of the Rings, The Odyssey, or A Christmas Carol. I don't make the rules. Okay, so now comes the fun part where I do indeed make the rules and piss a lot of people off. In my personal opinion, overcoming the monster, the quest, and voyage and return all kind of feel like the same thing to me. They all encompass the journey of hardship that results in an inner transformation and character growth that most often than not results in a happier ending. So we are combining those 3 into the adventure. I feel like the adventure is pretty good, pretty all-encompassing for those 3 because it suggests that there was a journey or some kind of transformation, right? And discovery, whether that discovery be external or internal, that's up to the writer's discretion. So that leaves us with 4 left. That being tragedy, comedy, rebirth, and rags to riches. Right off the bat, tragedy and comedy are inherently antonyms of each other, the opposite. So tragedy and comedy are not going to be in the same group for my little 4-square situation we've got going on. Rags to riches, I feel like, is very independent, very strong. I think it can really accent the other 3 ideas and include an extra plot point in there, but I also think it's strong enough and can exclude the other 3 options. So I might leave rags to riches alone, and so we'd have either comedy or rebirth or tragedy and rebirth, and I think it was more fitting to have tragedy and rebirth together. Okay, that's my thought process. Do not judge me. Or do, I don't care. Both tragedy and rebirth depict serious events that result in life altering responses that then result in growth for that character or for that family, group, whatever. So that's pretty much the same thing, no? And because of that, it'll be now deemed transformation. And I feel very confident about that. So that means the original 7 are now transformed into the adventure, transformation, comedy, and rags to riches. I actually have a question. What? No, we don't do that here. That's not. You just don't do questions. It'll be really quick. It'll be so quick. No, we don't. We don't do.
It could have been done.
Return a response thing. I'm talking to them. No, I'm not. We're not gonna.
Let me stop.
No, I'm not going to do.
Please,
Stop. Okay. Question, Hatmutt Man. Thank you. The new grouping is fun and all, but wouldn't you say it's more on the rare side to see a movie or story or whatever fit into just one category or one definition? Well, for the good ones at least. Looking at you, Dark World. Oh, hey,
oh, Fancy Mutt Man. Shots fired. Damn.
Bless you. Thank you. So maybe it'll be best to close out with how, although these identifiers are different, they're not always separate when talking about different stories and storytelling. Damn. Do you guys agree? Hatmutt Man? Fancy Mutt Man? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Then consider it done. Thanks, Adopted Mutt Man. Yeah, no problem. Wait, what? Good boys, Bubba's. Well, let me sit down with you. I'll rub your belly. Let me sit down with you. I'll rub your tummy. I'll be the first to say that pants were not the play for this part of the recording. But we ball. Now, obviously, as we were talking, every core idea has been done before. But that doesn't mean there still can't be fresh ways to portray that. It's basically like we have the blueprints needed for a compelling concept, right? The blueprints of what we need to show. And now we get the joy of creating our own characters and worlds and excuses to do that. So we still get to see new stuff and explore new things while being able to connect it to things we're already familiar about, which is now only 4 things instead of 7 things. Holy shit, you're so welcome. But that is all. I like learning. I like teaching. And even if you didn't learn anything, just lie to me and say you did. I need to hear it. Have a wonderful day, week, month, year, evening, whatever you need to hear. I hope it's great. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's great. And, I mean, fuck it, we ball, guys. Have a wonderful time. Hope you all enjoyed the shorter video. God, I hope it was shorter. Love you if it wasn't shorter. Oh, my voice? Huh? This is the last thing I'm filming today, so I guess if my voice were to go, this would be the most convenient time. Oh, man. Go ahead, Bubba. Chill out. Enjoy the weather, dog. That's why we're out here, homeboy. Finally starting to cool down a little bit. See you in the next one.